He's a billionaire entrepreneur with quite a story to tell. Jim Axelrod has a Sunday profile of Mark Cuban.
Is it impossible to stay connected to what most people would think of as a normal life?
Yes and no.
Always looking to unlock hidden value.
It's not like my friends are rich. They're not.
Multi-billionaire Mark Cuban,
At the same time, if you're jumping on a plane and it's your plane,
apparently finds none in either shy or retiring. The owner of the NBA's Dallas Mavericks, whose unrestrained dress downs of league refs have cost him millions in fines.
obviously I'm incredibly impressed.
A panelist on Shark Tank for the last 13 years.
Rule number one, I'll teach you, don't over-negotiate.
$550 for 11%.
Done. Done, you got a deal.
$5 million to build his factory.
The kind of guy who loved playing himself on HBO's Entourage.
You know what's going to happen?
Mark's gonna make Gordon Gekko look like Mary Poppins.
I will never forget this.
Cuban
Neither will I, Turtle.
is one high-functioning multitasker. But these days, if you want to know what's grabbing his attention,
As big a potential disruptor as this space has seen.
That's the goal.
check out his latest venture, Mark Cuban's Cost Plus Drugs, that aims to change the way we fill our prescriptions.
How much of your head is cost plus eating up right now?
About 99.99%. Financial, emotional, intellectual, all that bandwidth is going to cost plus.
Prescription drugs are a $500 billion market in the U.S. Cuban wants more transparency into how prices are set, an opaque and complicated process, he says, that's largely controlled by middlemen. Cost Plus deals directly with manufacturers and consumers, offering more profits for those who make drugs and lower prices for those who take them.
Let me make sure I understand this. Cost
You see it.
plus 15% for
Yep.
you, plus
$3 pharmacy fee, because the pharmacist needs to get paid, and then $5 shipping if it's mail order.
simple.
Simple.
Cost Plus Drugs offers 1,100 medications right now, mostly, but not all, generics, like atorvastatin, the generic of the cholesterol drug Lipitor. Retail, $55.08 for 30 pills. Cost Plus, $3.60 for the same amount.
When I was in my 20s and my 30s and my early 40s, it was all about how much money could I make. But at this point in my life where the next dollar that I bring in isn't going to change my life, my kids' life, their kids' lives, the capitalistic reward comes from having an impact.
At the age of 64, Mark Cuban's been focused on the next dollar for close to 50 years, since he was a kid in Pittsburgh.
Selling garbage bags door to door, selling magazines, selling candy door to door.
You did all that.
All that. Hi, my name is Mark. Do you use garbage bags? If you just call me every time you need garbage bags, they're only $6 per 100. I'll come and I'll just drop them off at the house. Once you're a salesperson and you know how to sell, there's nothing you can't do.
That salesmanship developed alongside a certain toughness in his working-class Jewish home.
The first time I ever got into a fight, some kid walked up and just punched me and started calling me a kike. And of course I had to beat the hell out of him, but I go into my dad and saying, what's a kike? Every generation has a reason to have fear, but every generation has a reason to have hope.
He took those qualities with him to Indiana University, along with a penchant for risk-taking and thinking outside the box.
Did you buy a bar before you were old enough to drink?
Yes, Motley's Pub. And that was the first time I had to try to get things organized and actually run a real business. And I realized I wasn't that good at it. There were a lot of mistakes that I made.
After graduation, he worked at a bank. That lasted 9 months. Cuban had too many other things to try.
Watch your hand. One last push here. No problem. Get it.
Like acting, grabbing parts in a bunch of B movies.
Who's Rachel?
His first big money came at the age of 30, selling a software company he built called Micro Solutions. While still not ready to settle down,
I netted about $2 million after taxes. I bought a lifetime pass on American Airlines, and I'm not going to work. I'm just going to party like a rock star in as many countries as I can.
his ever-churning mind was focused on and investing in the emerging sector of technology and computers.
My net worth just kept on going bam, 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 along with that. By the time I'm 35, I was worth, $15, $20 million. Life was good.
Millions became billions when he and his college buddy, Todd Wagner, also now living in Dallas, wanted to listen to Indiana University basketball games on their old campus 900 miles away.
So I go buy a computer, upgrade my phone line, downloaded Netscape software for a server, and started looking at different alternatives to try to put audio and eventually video on the internet. Nobody was doing it at the time. We were the first.
I feel like I'm listening to the origin story of streaming.
It is the origin story of streaming. There was nobody doing it. Nobody. People thought I was an idiot.
He wasn't.
You sell to Yahoo?
Sell to Yahoo for $5.7 billion in stock. It was the craziest thing ever. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I could be worth $1 billion. I was ready to retire when I had $2 million, you know?
If you were worth a tenth of what you're
Yeah.
worth, you would be just as happy.
Yeah, of course.
1% of what you're worth.
Yes. If I had my same family and everything, for sure.
And the people who say that's easy for him to say?
Yeah, of course. But if you talk to my friends from back then who are still my friends, they'll tell you I've got stuff, but hopefully I haven't changed all that much.
We took him up on his idea to talk to his oldest pals,
The big man, Bofi, Toda Pro, and Stu.
getting them together at a lunch spot in Pittsburgh.
He said, if you ask the guys I grew up with, I am the same guy. Different stuff, same guy.
Yeah, I think so. A little more full of it, but not that much more full of it. But he's still the same guy. A little bit.
Same guy, meaning what the world sees of Mark Cuban now, they saw first, then.
We got into stamps. I'd like to collect stamps, and Mark expressed an interest in stamps with the stamp show. We'd each go in with $20. I'd come out with some stamps, and Mark would come out with $100. It's amazing. It's like, how did you do that?
Inefficient markets. You look for inefficient markets. Yeah.
He'd buy them on the second floor and sell them on the first floor, right? Basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is how he got to shooting baskets
That's all we need. We're done.
on a full court in the backyard of his $20 million plus mansion,
It's 2 for 2 for anybody scoring at home.
Yeah, we'll stop right there.
where he lives with his wife and 3 kids.
My son gives me a hard time if I'm missing. I'm like, come on, Mark.
A guy who's been draining him from deep for decades now.
What did you know about running a professional sports team when you bought the Mavs?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
The Dallas Mavericks he paid $285 million for 23 years ago are now estimated to be worth more than $3 billion. But remember, this is a guy looking for hidden value.
The connection to your customer is stronger than anywhere else. You don't get requests from Make-A-Wish to sit down with a software programmer.
A man who understands the role of good fortune in creating his great one.
Do you walk around every day feeling like, man, did I get a good deal of the cards?
Yeah. How does this happen to me?
How do you explain it?
I can't. Life is half random. There's half you have some level of control over, and half it is what it is. If I was born 5 years sooner, not during, the early days of the internet, you might not know my name. And I'm gonna never take it for granted and enjoy every stinking moment of it.